In a crisis, the biggest threat to your survival isn't running out of supplies, it's losing them to someone else. What you've spent months preparing could vanish in hours if you don't know how to protect it. Today, we're revealing the 7 categories of supplies most likely to be seized or stolen during a collapse, and more importantly, the proven strategies to keep them hidden and secure when everyone else is desperate. Welcome to Prep Pantry, where we turn preparedness into practical action. If you're serious about protecting what you've built, hit that like button and subscribe, because this information could mean the difference between surviving a crisis and becoming another cautionary tale. When disaster strikes, desperation follows immediately. And here's what most preppers don't realize. The initial threat to your supplies doesn't just come from looters or desperate neighbors. The reality is far more organized and systematic. Throughout history, governments operating under emergency powers have collected resources based on priority lists. These aren't random. They're shaped by 3 specific factors: immediate survival value, ease of transport, and potential for control. Understanding these patterns isn't academic theory. It's the difference between keeping your supplies and watching them disappear exactly when you need them most. So let's start with the first target, and it's always the same one: firearms and ammunition. In any collapse scenario, firearms represent raw power. Whoever controls the weapons controls everything else. Criminal groups want them for obvious reasons, but government entities often frame confiscation as a matter of public safety, promising to return seized weapons once things stabilize. Those promises rarely materialize. The evidence is clear. After Hurricane Katrina, law enforcement conducted systematic door-to-door confiscations. Constitutional rights were suspended, and legal firearms were seized from law-abiding citizens. Most people complied under threat of force. Those who resisted, well, they were arrested. This isn't conspiracy theory, it's documented history, and it sets the precedent for what happens when crisis meets opportunity. So how do you protect firearms when they're the #1 target? First, decentralization. Never keep all your firearms in one location. Use multiple caches, hidden compartments in walls, buried waterproof containers on your property, or even trusted friends who aren't on any official registration lists. Keep a decoy gun in an obvious location in your house. When searchers find something, they often stop looking deeper. Give them what they expect to find and protect what actually matters. Second, operational security. Stop advertising your arsenal. Every social media post about your latest range day, every workplace conversation about guns, every Second Amendment sticker on your vehicle, they all create a mental target list. The fewer people who know what you have, the safer you are when things go sideways. Third, understand the paperwork trail. Registered firearms are easily traced and confiscated. Authorities know exactly who has what and where they live. Unregistered weapons, while existing in a legal gray area, have historically been far more difficult for authorities to seize simply because there's no paper trail leading to your door. Now let's move to the second category, and this one catches people off guard because it seems less threatening: medications and medical supplies. In a crisis, these become more valuable than gold. Insulin, antibiotics, painkillers, they turn into underground currency practically overnight. During Puerto Rico's hurricane crisis, people were trading generators for just 1 month's supply of insulin. Hospital workers and EMTs hoarded medications for their families, knowing what was coming. Unlike firearms, medications are seen as morally fair game. After all, everyone's just trying to save their loved ones, right? That desperation makes them even more vulnerable to seizure because people justify taking them more easily. Protection requires misdirection. Keep decoy supplies visible. Expired antibiotics, common over-the-counter medications that don't really matter. When searchers find something, they often stop looking deeper. Give them what you expect to find and protect what actually matters. Distribution is critical here. Never store all your medical supplies in one place. Keep small stashes in your everyday bag, your vehicle, hidden caches around your home, and multiple locations within your house itself. If one cache is discovered or compromised, you still have backup supplies elsewhere. Build your supply quietly. Rotate pharmacies, avoid bulk purchases that attract attention, and spread acquisitions over time. Some veterinarian medications like fish antibiotics are molecularly identical to human versions and can be acquired without prescriptions. Always consult a medical professional about proper usage, but understand that these alternatives exist outside the normal tracking systems. The third category is the most obvious, but also the most misunderstood: food and water supplies. These might not be the first target in the initial hours of a crisis, but within 72 hours, everything changes. Desperation sets in fast. Historical sieges show people burning furniture just to cook what little food remained. And governments, they respond with rationing and requisitioning, sometimes even criminalizing excess supplies. During World War II, possessing more than a week's worth of certain foods was actually illegal. In Venezuela's recent collapse, special ID cards tracked food purchases and excess supplies were confiscated under the justification of fair distribution. This isn't ancient history, it's the modern playbook. This is what you show if authorities or neighbors ask, and what you eat from daily. It needs to look like a regular household pantry, nothing more. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The bulk of your food storage goes in creative, concealed locations. False walls, 5-gallon buckets hidden in attic insulation, cans behind bookshelves, Mylar bags inside old paint cans. Make it difficult to find without tearing your house apart. And critically, avoid one large stockpile. Use multiple small caches throughout your home and property. If one location is discovered, you haven't lost everything. Operational silence is non-negotiable here. Never brag about your preparedness. Not to coworkers, not on social media, not to casual acquaintances. Every mention creates future problems. When people know you have food and they're starving, they will come looking, sometimes with force. Category 4 is where things get tricky, because these items are hard to hide. Fuel and power generation equipment, generators, solar panels, battery banks, stored gasoline, they become priceless in a crisis because they represent more than just power. They represent a semblance of normal life. During blackouts and hurricanes, fuel prices skyrocket instantly, and generators are stolen from garages or even requisitioned by authorities for critical infrastructure. The problem? These items are difficult to conceal. Generators make noise. Solar panels are visible on rooftops. Gasoline has a distinctive smell. You can't exactly hide a whole house generator system, so you use camouflage and misdirection instead. Own a cheap, loud generator for daytime use as a decoy. Run it occasionally when everyone else is running theirs. But your real generator, the quiet, efficient one, should only be run at night when necessary, inside a sound-dampening enclosure that masks both noise and exhaust. For solar panels, consider portable units that can be deployed and hidden as needed, rather than permanent roof installations that advertise your capability. Ground-mounted panels can be camouflaged with tarps or netting that still allow function but reduce visibility. Here's a counterintuitive strategy: strategic sharing. Build mutual aid networks with immediate neighbors. Sharing power for essential needs, refrigeration, medical devices, communication, creates allies who are invested in protecting the resource rather than stealing it. They become a defensive perimeter around your capability rather than a threat to it. The fifth category is often overlooked, but it's critical: communication equipment. Radios, satellite phones, mesh network devices, even internet routers. They become essential in a crisis because information is power. Control of communication means control of the narrative, control of coordination, control of what people know and when they know it. Governments have confiscated communication equipment during uprisings and disasters specifically to limit information flow. If people can't communicate, they can't organize. If they can't organize, they're easier to control. Your strategy here needs to be layered. Maintain multiple levels of communication capability. Basic devices that everyone has: cell phones, standard radios, emergency radios that only receive broadcasts, appearing passive and non-threatening, and finally, advanced equipment like ham radios and satellite devices, kept hidden and used sparingly. Practice now. Learn to use your equipment before you need it. Programming a radio under duress when you're stressed and possibly being hunted is a recipe for disaster. The time to figure out frequencies, encryption, and protocols is right now, in peacetime. Conceal not just the devices, but the fact that you're using them. Antennas can be detected. Transmissions can be triangulated. Operating a powerful radio from your home during a crisis is like lighting a beacon that says, "I have resources and capability." Sometimes that's necessary, but understand the risk. Category 6 might seem less critical, but history proves otherwise. Tools and hardware. Chainsaws, quality hand tools, water purification systems, welding equipment, they become invaluable when new goods are unavailable and repair is the only option. In Argentina's economic collapse, a working chainsaw could trade for a month's worth of food. These items are often requisitioned by authorities for infrastructure repair, with the same promises of return that never quite happen. The strategy here is redundancy with different profiles. For each critical tool, keep 3 versions: a decoy, old, beat up, barely functional. This satisfies casual searches. A daily use version, secure but accessible for your actual work. And a cache version, new, hidden, sealed, and ready for true emergencies. Make your tools look worthless. Paint new equipment to look old. Add fake repairs with duct tape and wire. Dirty up that chainsaw. People steal what looks valuable. If your tools look like they're barely hanging on, they're not worth the effort to take. The 7th and final category is the most abstract, but potentially the most important: knowledge and information resources. Preparedness books, detailed maps, written plans, technical manuals, digital files. They're all survival tools. In some regimes, possessing certain books or manuals is literally a crime. In a collapse, technical knowledge becomes a commodity, and those with medical or engineering skills may be forced to work under threat or specific
specifically targeted for exploitation. Your protecting knowledge requires a dual approach. Digitize and encrypt everything critical, stored on encrypted drives and micro SD cards that can be easily hidden. But don't rely solely on digital storage. Electromagnetic pulse events or simple battery failures can wipe out electronics instantly. Keep hard copies of essential guides, maps, and manuals in waterproof containers hidden separately from your main supplies.
If your home is searched, you want these documents in different locations so they're not all discovered at once. And here's the hard truth about knowledge. Stop advertising your skills. Stop telling people you have medical training, engineering expertise, or practical experience. Be the gray man, someone who appears to have no special abilities or resources. When crisis hits, you can choose when and how to reveal your capabilities, rather than having them forcibly extracted from you. Now let's talk about how all of this comes together into a comprehensive security system. Imagine your preparedness as a series of concentric circles, like a target. The outer circle is what everyone can see, and it should look minimal, normal, and completely unremarkable. This is the version of you that neighbors, coworkers, and casual acquaintances perceive. You're just a regular person with a regular amount of stuff. The middle circles are what close friends and family know. They might know you have some supplies, maybe a week or two of food, a generator perhaps, but even they don't know the full extent. You've shared slightly more, but it's still limited and controlled. The inner circle is the core. This is what only you know, and perhaps your spouse if you're married. This is where the real preparation lives. The hidden caches, the backup locations, the full extent of your capability and planning. This stays locked in the inner circle no matter what. Every category of supplies we've discussed requires tailored protection strategies, but they all share these common principles. Redundancy. Never keep all your eggs in one basket. This applies to every single category. Multiple locations, multiple caches, multiple backups. If one is discovered or destroyed, you still have capability. Concealment. Hide not just the items themselves, but the fact that you're prepared at all. Your preparedness should be invisible to outside observation. No prepper stickers, no social media posts, no conversations that reveal your true capability. Misdirection. Provide decoys to satisfy casual searches. When someone looks, they should find something that confirms their expectations and stops them from looking deeper. A little bit of obvious preparation can hide a lot of serious preparation. Operational security. Control information about your preparations from the very start. This isn't paranoia, it's practical. Every person who knows is a potential security leak when they're desperate or pressured. Limit the circle, keep the secret, survive the crisis. But here's what most people miss. Physical supplies are only half the equation. The other half is mental preparation. You must develop the mindset to make hard decisions that go against normal social conditioning. Refusing to share when it could expose your supplies. Misleading when honesty could make you a target. Appearing weak when appearing strong could invite challenge. These decisions feel wrong because we're socially conditioned for peacetime cooperation. But in a true collapse, the rules fundamentally change. Social niceties become survival liabilities. Survival favors those who adapt quickly and make decisions based on the new reality, not the old comfort. This doesn't mean becoming cruel or heartless. It means protecting your ability to help others on your terms, rather than having everything stripped away in the first chaotic days when you could have made a difference long term. So what do you actually do with this information? Start now. The best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is today. Build your supplies quietly while resources are available and attention is low. Every day of delay is capability you won't have when crisis hits. Practice security habits now, so they're second nature when it matters. Stop talking about your preps. Stop posting. Start thinking about what you reveal and to whom. Make it automatic. Build your supplies creatively using distributed storage, camouflage, and redundancy. Don't just buy and stack. Hide, distribute, and protect as you go. Make protection part of the acquisition process, not an afterthought. Be the gray man starting today. Present as unprepared and unremarkable, while quietly maintaining the capability to survive and help others on your terms. Blend in, stay quiet, and protect your capability through obscurity. Help strategically, not indiscriminately. Your first responsibility is to your family. Your second is to your community. But you can't help anyone if everything is taken from you in the first 72 hours. Protect your ability to be a long-term asset rather than a short-term charity case. Look at the pattern throughout history. Every crisis, natural disaster, economic collapse, civil unrest, war, follows the same playbook. First comes the triggering event, then desperation sets in. Then comes the systematic taking of resources from those who have them by those who need them or want to control them. Those who prepared early and quietly survived best. Those who waited paid dearly or went without entirely.
But here's the crucial lesson most people miss. Those who failed to protect their preparations often ended up worse off than those who never prepared at all. They became targets. They were robbed, sometimes violently. They attracted attention that got them hurt or killed. Preparation without protection is just creating a treasure chest for someone else to plunder. Preparedness isn't paranoia. It's a rational response to the fragility of our interconnected society. History is absolutely full of examples of stable societies becoming unstable overnight. It happens faster than anyone expects, and it follows predictable patterns every single time. Taking responsibility for your own survival means more than just having supplies. It means keeping those supplies when everyone else wants them.
It means being smart enough, quiet enough, and prepared enough to weather the storm while others are still figuring out what happened. The time to prepare is now. The time to protect those preparations is also now. When the shelves are empty and desperation has set in, it's too late to start learning these lessons. You'll be reacting instead of executing. You'll be improvising instead of following a plan. Develop your concentric circles of security starting today. Practice operational silence in your daily life. Adapt your mindset to the realities of what crisis actually looks like, not what we hope it would be. Stay safe, stay ready, and remember this above everything else. Being prepared isn't just about having supplies. It's about keeping them when everyone else wants them. If this information opened your eyes to vulnerabilities in your own preparation, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. Next week, we're covering the critical mistakes that get preppers caught in the first 48 hours of a crisis. You've worked too hard to lose it all because of simple mistakes you didn't know you were making. Stay prepared, Prep Pantry family. We'll see you in the next one.